So hello everyone, I'm Mark Poustie, I'm Dean of the Law School and Programme Director of the Marine and Maritime Law Master's Programme, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the programme today. So first of all, why would you like to choose this course? So in common with many of our master's programs, they're really designed to help you to develop a specialisation in a particular field of law, in this case marine and maritime law. So if you're a graduate and that's a field that you're interested in, then that could be a reason for choosing the course. However, it may be that you're already in a career in the marine or maritime sector. That may not be a legal career, and you're looking to enhance your career prospects within that field. And again, the LLM can help you with this. And you'll actually see some examples of that as we go through. In terms of some of the recent graduates from the programme. You may also be interested in going into the programme as a foundation for PhD study in the field as well, if you've got a particular aim to become an academic in the field. And you're going to be taught by experts in the field, both experts located within the school, but also we have a number of maritime law practitioners in Ireland who contribute to the school. The Irish Naval Service contributes to the programme, particularly through the Law of the Sea clinical module. And we also have colleagues contributing from MARI, the SFI Research Centre for Energy, Climate and Marine Research. The course structure, it's a typical UCC LLM program. It's 90 credits for the full LLM or 60 credits for the postgraduate diploma. Essentially, the postgraduate diploma is all the taught elements without the dissertation. You can do the program full-time in 1 year or part-time over 2 years, but the part-time option is only available to EU students. And in terms of the teaching methods, we have essentially seminars held for each class. There is the clinical module, and I'll tell you a little bit more about that later. And there's obviously directed study as well. And the course is broken down into core modules and elective modules. The core modules, there are 3 taught core modules: Introduction to Law of the Sea, really vital foundation, admiralty law, and marine environmental and natural resources law. And that course covers issues like the new Biodiversity Beyond National Jurisdiction Treaty, issues like seabed mining and offshore renewable energy. And then in addition to those core taught modules, we have a compulsory module on research methods and writing, and the dissertation. And the dissertation gives you an opportunity to explore an area of marine or maritime law in considerable detail during the summer after the taught elements of the course have concluded. And there's a wide range of elective modules available, both specialist modules in marine, maritime and environmental law. So for example, modules like port law or carriage of goods by sea, but also a whole variety of environmental law modules like international environmental law. And you also have access to non-marine, maritime and environmental law modules as well, perhaps from the LLM in business law or the LLM in international human rights and public policy. The delivery of the program is hybrid. Quite a number of the modules are delivered in person. Some, largely the modules that are delivered by maritime practitioners, maritime law practitioners, are delivered online, but all the modules are recorded. So even if a module is delivered in person, it's also recorded. Assessment is almost entirely by means of continuous assessment, and there are a variety of types of assessments. There are reports, there are essays, and so on. I mentioned the clinical module. This, I think, is a real highlight of the program, and it It actually reflects our very strong relationship with the Irish Naval Service, and as you may know, the Irish Naval Service's main base is at Haulbowline, which is very close to Cork. And the clinical module essentially involves participation in a simulation, a maritime law enforcement simulation, and that involves going on board one of the Irish Naval Service's warships. If the weather is good, we get a chance to go out to sea, and the simulation is conducted on board the ship. And the assessment there is that the students have to give advice to the Naval Service on what they can and cannot do within the particular parameters of the scenario that's developed. And this, I think, is something that students really, really enjoy. Potential career opportunities and employability. The slide after this goes on to look at some of the careers that our recent graduates have gone into, but in general terms, people are going into legal profession, perhaps to government regulatory agencies. So for example, in Ireland, we now have the Maritime Area Regulatory Authority as an agency that licenses the use of offshore areas for example, renewable energy and so on. Might be going into industry. So, for example, the protection and indemnity clubs, the insurance clubs that insure the shipping industry, or classification societies, which are involved in certifying ships as being seaworthy and registering ships as well. But there's also obviously the whole offshore renewable energy sector. That's one that students may be able to get into, and also non-governmental organizations in relation to conservation in the marine area, and then international organizations and potentially academia as well. But just to make this a little bit more specific, here are half a dozen of our relatively recent graduates. So first up, there's Henry Wilkinson. Now, he has gone into one of the protection and indemnity clubs. He's an underwriter with Steamship Mutual and seems to be very, very happy with that career choice. Evelyn Mana, who was one of our international students from Sierra Leone, she's become a paralegal with a local solicitor's company that does do a large amount of maritime law work, particularly in relation to fisheries. Maria Valsamis has become a sales renewal rep with Quest Software, so not in the maritime field, but it also shows it is possible to get roles in other industry sectors. Below Henry Wilkinson, you'll see Shane Mulcahy. Shane is a barrister. He's a serving officer in the Irish Naval Service, and at the conclusion of the LLM degree, he became a legal advisor to the Irish Naval Service. And again, this shows that you can use the degree to enhance your career if you're already within that field. Victor Ayo Emmanuel, again, one of our international students from Nigeria. He's now the Registrar of the National Industrial Court in Nigeria, and he had a particular interest in the working conditions of sailors. So his dissertation was on that. So he is working in a field that's related to his dissertation. Brian Fitzgerald was the officer commanding operations and second in command of the Irish Naval Service. He did the LLM with us a number of years ago, and when he retired from the Navy, he went into the offshore renewable energy sector, and he's now Director of External Affairs for the renewable energy company Simply Blue Limited. So again, it shows that we've got people at different levels of seniority who have managed to use the degree to help their career development in one way or another. And I hope that gives you some comfort that doing this degree would actually be valuable for you. The entry requirements, again, mirror those of the other LLMs in the school. We're normally looking for an upper second class degree in law, or the equivalent of that from another jurisdiction. But if you've got a degree in another discipline, we're certainly willing to consider you. So, for example, if it's marine science, marine biology, something like that, or engineering or business, we obviously would still consider you because we understand that people may be looking to develop a law-related career building on the expertise that they already have. And if you have experience in the marine or maritime industry, that experience will also be taken into account if you're making an application for the degree. If your first language isn't English, our normal language qualifications apply here. We're looking for IELTS 6.5 with no element below 6. And we do look at alternative qualifications as well, such as TEFL or Duolingo. And the fees and funding for the coming academic year, you'll see are set out there. Full-time EU fee, just over €7,000. If you're a non-EU student, the fee is 18,900. But for non-EU candidates, there are merit-based scholarships which would reduce your tuition fee. So if you get a first-class degree in your undergrad or the equivalent, you get a discount of 3,000 from that fee, 2,000 for those with an upper second or equivalent, and 1,000 for those with a lower second or equivalent. And that concludes the presentation on the Marine and Maritime LLM. I'm very happy for you to reach out to me if you have any questions about the program. And I really hope that if you are interested in the program, you take the step of applying for it. And I look forward to welcoming you here if you do that in the near future. Thanks very much.